So here's an update on the K10. I want to do a video before I do the final paint on it. But it's all assembled. I got the 1-ton axles there, Dana 60 in the front, and 14 bolt full floater in the rear. I already cut the mounts off of the rear axle, and I got the off-road design spring mounts on the back. They're not welded, they're just bolted down to the springs. It ain't going anywhere. So I actually weld them once I have the lift kit on there, and I don't want to weld them now, whether I need to change the pinion angle or what have you, so I figure I'd just wait till the lift is on. But aside from that, all the major body work is done. At least now it's getting closer. I finished up on the front fenders where I cut the bottoms off and kind of cleaned them up. I lined everything the best that I could as far as fender gaps and stuff like that. For this top of the fender, I cut it off of one of the old fenders, welded it on to the new fender. I don't think it looks too bad. I think it lines up pretty good. It's a lot better than what it was. You see the other video to see how crooked it was. I still gotta fix the top of the door. I had a big dent. I just haven't gotten to it. So I gotta stand on a ladder to get to it. The truck's a little bit high. But I finished this door. The gap came out pretty decent. It's a little tight there, but then I got the line in there where the rocker meets the cab corner. I just used my porting bit, and I use it by hand, just kind of rolling it to make that gap show. It still has filler in there, but I still want to be able to see it. Then I gotta fix the little imperfections on it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. Wet sanded the truck down, see what areas need work, what's an obvious imperfection on it. Anything small I'm not really worried about, like hail damage or little defects in the paint. That I'm not worried about. And the bottom half of this has been replaced. I didn't worry about the rust right there at the taillight because the taillight covers it. The bed has some rust issues in it on some of the rails. A lot of the sides, like when I was filling in that hole where the molding was on the side, it's basically a whole lot of pinholes. And when I replaced this, I was kind of fighting with where the pinholes were, and I only had so much metal, just like there when I was trying to weld that together. I was having a lot of blow-throughs. So the cab is more important to me than the bed is. The bed, I can always get another bed. It looks good enough. I'm not going to replace it, but it looks good enough. You see the lines are pretty decent. It all flows together. It's a mud truck. I don't expect it to be much, but I don't want it to be a hideous looking mud truck. I still want it to be a nice looking truck. For this panel, when the panel goes on, I think on the tailgate handle itself, I think I'm going to paint it a silver that matches that trim. So hopefully that turns out pretty good. If not, I'll paint the handle black. But I fixed it. The handle was twisted and bent. I still got to get the little grommets or pins for the latch assembly. Well, that's this side of it. See, the line just basically goes straight on there, so it's lined up pretty good. The bed's a little crooked. I got to straighten that still. But the filler neck's in there. Like I said, just kind of fixing little imperfections on there. I finished this fender, fixing that, fixing the bottom of it. It doesn't look too bad. Even this windshield pillar post doesn't look too bad. The doors aren't the greatest. I mean, I got a ton of time into making them at least be moderately straight and flat. This door is kind of twisted a little bit. I mean, it sits in and then sits out there. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, the gap isn't the greatest, but I guess it depends on how you look at it. This fender, I ended up cutting more because this was bent so bad. So I ended up cutting this whole section out of one of the old ones and then welded onto the new one. The other side I only had to do a little bit. This was the side that was bent. But it's flat, it's straight. I mean, for the most part, I think it'll look pretty good once it's painted. I'm not going to kill myself once I paint it. I'm probably just cut the paint a little bit and then buff it out. It might have some orange peel in it, but I'm not too worried about it. Most of the big dents are out of the hood. This whole corner was dented in. There's a couple of big dents. Still has a little hail damage dents in there, but I didn't mess with them. I just did the big ones. So it's pretty much flat. You're not going to be able to see it anyways. I mean, I'm 5'10", somewhere around there, and I doubt you'll be able to see up there. The bottom of the hood's painted. I did the final coat on the firewall. Got all the plug wells for the brake booster cleaned up. All that's painted. Painted the hinges. Inner fenders are all painted. I just got to mask everything off before I get done. At least all the big holes are gone. And the fact that everything's been cut up. I left the main ones for AC box. Gotta have AC. And hopefully I don't get any overspray on my hinges. I try to mask it off as good as I can. And the hood has a little bit of a dent, but like I said, it looks pretty decent. This is what it looks like before I paint it. Hopefully it looks a lot better when it's done. I mean, it's all different areas. I've sanded some, I haven't sanded some, I've sprayed. But as far as the interior is going to be all black. So I have to go over and respray. I got to sand all of this. I got to sand the roof and everything, resand everything down, and I'll spray gloss black. So that's black, and then all the plastic pieces will be black. Black carpet, black seats. So it should flow pretty good. Be black, a black door panel. Then you got the tan for around the door. You'll be able to see a little bit of it. I got to get the black carpet for the bottom of the door. So you got tan kind of flowing around through there. I think it'll look pretty good being black and gray, or black and tan, with a little bit of coloring in there. I mean, chrome seatbelt buckles, you know, shifter and stuff like that. I think it should flow together pretty good, being black and tan. Black will be easy because I don't want it to get too dirty, and black doesn't get dirty, versus having a tan or any other color interior. That's what it looks like. I mean, the doors are pretty darn straight. The rockers, I ended up taking bed liner and the electrical hole for all your wiring harness to your windows. Just made a little funnel, and I took bed liner and I let the bed liner come down and fill up the rocker and then drip out. So the whole seam of this rocker has been filled in with bed liner, so it ain't gonna rust. I didn't want to forget to do that before I put the fenders on, so it's definitely not gonna rust. That's the common issue with them, so I ain't got to worry about it. All the water, and it still flows, lets water flow out. Not like water is going to really get in there, but moisture will, but it can still drip out. It just drip out like how the bed liner dripped out. That's the update on it. I'll do one once I get it all painted. I still think it looks a lot better without the dual tanks on there and just the one tank. That's it.